Hi, I'm Em of M Doodles and Stuff. I'm mainly on TikTok doing influencer baby name predictions. I also do baby name consultations, and this is my YouTube channel, which is a little more long form, which sounds very academic. It just means I like to ramble about stuff. My other series here is called Doodle Talk, where I just talk about whatever I want. Nooks and crannies of the internet, really whatever. I think of it as the kind of thing you're like sort of watching, but not really. You're listening to it as you're doing laundry or like an art project, something along that line, you know? So this is a little different. I'm gonna call it Prediction XL, Director's Cut, like extended edition, extra large, the whole thing of doing a baby name prediction with all the nooks and crannies and rambling and all of that. But if you still want the bottom line, I'm gonna put that on TikTok still. I'll put that up right after this goes up. I'm kind of sick. This is like the millionth time I've tried to record this, and I just get so hoarse, like just raspy. So I have hot water next to me. I don't like tea. I've tried to like tea so many times, but here's the problem. Tea smells amazing. Tea smells so good. And then you taste it and it's just like the leftover trash. It is diluted. I understand that. It is literally tea is those things, those herbs, those nice smells diluted into hot water. And it's a major bummer. I like the way it smells so much, but I hate the way it tastes. But so I just have hot water that I'm occasionally going to drink because I could just feel it. It's not good. Okay. So, also I try to talk slower in these videos. You can put it up to 1.5 speed and it will feel more like the TikTok experience. But if I try to go fast, I get so tongue-tied, it's not good. Okay, so this baby name prediction is for Caitlin and Leah, who have nearly 850,000 subscribers on YouTube and 8.3 million followers on TikTok. And so why them? Why has this specific couple birthed the idea of Prediction XL? Am I a huge fan of theirs? No, I had never heard of them before I started being tagged in their baby name clue video. So I think of myself here as like a pretty impartial jury, honestly. I know nothing about them aside from their baby name content. This video probably won't be very interesting if you're a super fan of theirs. This ended up being very data-based, actually. So it really just, their baby name content that they've put out tugged at the exact correct strings in my brain to get me interested. Have you heard people say that men's brains are organized like boxes and women's are like webs? Women connect everything to everything and everything is on our minds all the time. Whereas men, it just like goes into a box, move along, they compartmentalize. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true for everyone. But I do know that my web, it's not like a spider web. It's that conspiracy meme. You know the one, the guy with all the red tape behind him? Yeah. The strings and the red lines connecting pieces of random chaos is exactly the inner workings of this baby name prediction, and pretty much everything I think about. So on August 2nd, they shared a short little TikTok video titled, "We've Chosen His Name," with clues. And then the next day, August 3rd, they shared a much lengthier YouTube video titled, "Baby Names We Love But Won't Be Using." So I guess August 2nd, August 3rd, they really solidified the name. They ordered their monogrammed onesies. They are not looking back. They are set on the name. And this set of data has everything I need. I am set. However, my Achilles heel of baby name predictions is going through the elaborate effort to do all of this, and then the comments come rolling in being like, hey, just so you know, she posted an Insta story that the baby name ends in a Y, and it derails everything I've done. And I'm like, I went to her pregnancy highlight bubble on Instagram 17 times. There is no mention of a clue about the name ending in a Y. This is a real example that happened, by the way. This really did happen. I recovered though. I got that one right in the end. Okay, so basically I'm saying if there's more details that I'm missing or more details come out after this, I'm flying free. I'm flying free. I'm not going to let it weight me down. I'm enjoying this. It is what it is. Okay, so Caitlin and Leah's two videos, they've got the juice. The baby names we love but won't be using list gives me the girthiest data set to work with, which is why it's a question every single one of my clients has to answer in order for me to do a consultation. Baby names we love but won't be using. It's the most insight I could get. It's like, we've loved this name for a decade, but my cousin just used it, or my mom used it on her new dog. That happens a lot. Also, if you are interested in doing a baby name consultation, 'tis the season. I just added an option on my consultation form if you're wanting to do it as a gift, because I think that's something people may be interested in for the holiday season and just like general Mother's Day, baby showers. Yeah, so if you're interested in it as a gift, there's now a little box you could check and get that all figured out. Okay, so I actually want to first hop over to their short little TikTok situation first. The text on the video says, "We've chosen his name." And then they do this spooky little dance, then say, "Here's some clues." And it's 3 pictures. Look at the screen now to get a glimpse yourself. Trees, grass, mountains, then a brown heart, then a soft green themed bedroom. And here's the thing. I always err on the side of simplicity. I think clues, Easter eggs, Taylor Swift song lyric meanings are always more straightforward than the complex fan theories that buzz around the web. I don't think I need to pinpoint the exact location of this mountain range, though I did. My prediction is that each of these images was simply in the top Google search of whatever word or phrase Caitlin and Leah typed in. And whatever that word or phrase is the clue that they're implying. They just put in some basic adjective or phrase and boop, the screen comes up, Google Images, and they screenshot it. Okay, I see these pictures as very simple, straightforward visual representations of the words that describe the baby name. Does that make sense? Is that way too obvious or very confusing? I don't know. Let's get into it. So what do? I screenshot their screenshots and reverse Google image search them. This is something I forget how to do it every single time. I have to go to Google and type in Google reverse image search every time I want to do this, which is pretty often. So starting with the mountain picture, it's in Austria, by the way. Yes, taken in Austria. Google leads me to the website of origin, and this is very clearly the exact place that Caitlin and Leah's screenshot is from, because it has the exact same Pickfair watermark as seen on this Pickfair website. This is a stock photography company. If you look at the screenshot in their TikTok video, you can see a little piece of that watermark in their picture. Okay, I'm at my computer now. We are on the Pickfair website, and we've got the uncropped view of the scene and a title, "Green Fields and Trees with a Mountain in the Background." And then to the right, there's a caption for it, "Green fields and a line of trees with a mountain in the background in Austria." Nice. Tells me the camera used was an iPhone 8. That's awesome. And the photographer is Nikki Emmert from Hungary. There's a link to her Instagram. Okay, let's go see this. It's a dead end. Let's see. I bet you she's changed her handle. Let's just look up her name in the app to see if we can find her. Okay, yes, found her. She went from Nikki_Emmert to Nikki.Emmert, and I wonder why. I've always personally been drawn to the underscore, personally. A dot, it's tiny and forgettable, but maybe more aligned with the punctuation used in website URLs, so maybe it's better for SEO purposes. Nikki in Hungary has a small but really lovely photography account here. Her bio says, "Taking photos is a form of therapy." I agree. Now, aside from a spree of photos of Budapest, it's pretty much all nature photography, and I'm getting a dazzling look at a country I know almost nothing about. Look at these fall colors in this picture. What I love about a small-scale local nature photographer from Hungary on Instagram is that I'm seeing views that are small-scale and local. Like if I go to Google and search beautiful landscapes of Hungary, yeah, it's giving me the most big, epic, impressive, tourist-enticing views of Hungary. It's all castles. But then when I see this picture of mountains from Nikki, I'm like, hey, that looks a lot like the Tetons in Wyoming. That's so cool. Or this farmland picture makes me say, oh, I lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa for a summer, and it looked so much like this. This is in Hungary? That's crazy. And so many of these fall foliage pictures look just like Minnesota. And it's like, while there's so many things making different people and places around the world feel so very different from one another, sometimes I feel like it's hidden from me that the day-to-day sights, whether beautiful or mundane, can be so similar across the globe. You know, I love that. Okay, I scroll down Nikki's Instagram a bit further and find the clue photo. It was taken in Carinthia, Austria, which, let's see, it's only 5 hours away from Hungary. I hope she had a nice little weekend trip there. Now, I'm confused because some other random person with 6 posts has commented on Nikki's clue photo and said, photo by Nicolette Emmert from Pexels. So Nicolette must be Nikki's full name. I Googled that and it leads me to a website called Pexels, where Nikki has a profile where she's uploaded her photography portfolio. Pexels describes itself as free stock photos, royalty-free images, and videos shared by creators. So it's a stock photography website where no one gets paid. How and why? I don't totally understand the situation. I really don't understand why her random friend commented, photo by Nicolette Emmert from Pexels. It's like, Nikki can promote her own Pexels profile if she wants to. Now, even though I don't understand this, I admire Nikki's hustle because guess what? If you Google that generic phrase, green field with mountain in background, Nikki's picture is a top result. It's the 14th hit, even before you have to start scrolling on a desktop, which is a huge accomplishment. Think of all the green field with mountain pictures that exist on the internet. Nikki's picture is a top result. That is a huge, huge, huge SEO and marketing accomplishment. Now listen to this. If you Google green field and trees with a mountain in the background, Nikki's #1. That photo from Caitlin and Leah screenshotted is the very first photo that Google offers you from Nikki from another stock photography website called Dreamstime. Nikki is our hustler. She's putting in the work to upload her photography portfolio to 3 or more stock photography websites to increase her likelihood of someone purchasing the rights to the photos, increase her SEO success, clearly working. And wow, I hope she's making an income off of this. TLDR. Caitlin and Leah most likely went to Google and typed in green field with mountain in background. Log that into the back of your mind while we move on to the next one. This is not as lengthy, I promise. Okay, brown heart. Brown heart reverse Google search. There are a lot of similar designs on the internet. It's really hard to tell which one is the original one or which one they screenshotted it from. But I do think it's very likely from a graphic on Redbubble, which I think is a site where you can upload your art onto stuff and sell it. This is a graphic being sold by Heavenly Thrills, and they've titled their brown heart image, Brown Heart Background, Mocha Aesthetic, Pinterest Indie Sticker. Now that sounds chaotic, but really it's just Heavenly Thrills trying their best to have this page come up whenever anyone Googles any part of that phrase. It's smart. So that's what I do. I do some more Googling, Google reverse image searching to see what types of phrases you need to type in to get to this brown heart image. For example, some things that will lead you there: indie heart aesthetic, boho brown heart, Y2K heart brown, indie iPhone wallpaper hashtag cool, brown heart wallpaper. Ultimately though, all you have to do to find this picture is simply to type in brown heart. I don't think that's what Caitlin and Leah actually did though. Googling the phrase indie heart or boho heart aesthetic also leads you directly to this brown heart, even without the word brown involved. I think that is significant. I don't think the color brown has any meaning whatsoever. It's all about the boho. Okay. Lastly, the green room. Reverse Google search leads me to a lot of different places, a lot on Pinterest. This image has been shared there a lot. Pinterest can be particularly helpful because the captions typically have those keywords that someone would search to find it. In this case, there's a varied bunch. Gray, green, aesthetic, bedroom. Slytherin aesthetic, bedroom. Green room aesthetic. Blue spruce. Or stunning art gallery wall, green bedroom, Hogwarts posters, oak frames. So I type a bunch of these combos into Google to answer the question, what is the most simple phrase someone might have searched to find this image? I really doubt Caitlin and Leah knew with exactness that stunning art gallery wall green bedroom Hogwarts posters oak frames was what they were looking for. And as it turns out, the most simple thing you could Google to still get this image on the main landing page is gray-green room aesthetic. But also, it is fairly high in the search results for Slytherin aesthetic room. So which of these two phrases is more likely a baby name clue? We're going to flesh this out. Let's go back to the first two images though. The best assumption we can make was that the screenshots were gathered by typing in green field with mountain in background and indie heart. So run that data through like the tangled red tape of my brain, beep bop a boop. It's a nature name, and it has boho vibes. Typing nature into Google would be so vague that Caitlin and Leah probably thought, I don't know, that's too vague. Nature, why don't you type in green field with mountain in background? Oh, that's nice. So even though they Googled something more specific than just nature, I think it just means the name is connected to nature. Okay, and then like I said, brown has nothing to do with the brown heart. The heart just means boho, indie, alternative. This requires some extra thinking juice because truly, who is to say what name is boho? Who defines indie as a concept? I don't ask myself what names do I think are boho here. I have to consider what names do they consider boho here. Does that make sense? That whole derailment of exploring Nikki at Pexels led us to deduce the theme is nature and boho, which is exactly what Caitlin and Leah say in their YouTube video. They literally say in their YouTube video, they describe their baby name aesthetic as unique boho vibes. That's a direct quote. And Leah says her own taste also includes earthy names. Direct quote. So in a nutshell, these two first pictures, the nature picture, the boho picture, are trash to me. They give no additional insights because it's what they've told us flat out verbatim. Unique boho vibes and earthy names is their name aesthetic. They said it themselves. The names they list in the video, in their YouTube video, also support that. These picture clues do nothing. There are no additional insights here. The only thing we've really gained is that last picture, which is the most mysterious. The best assumption we can make was the green bedroom screenshot was found by Googling gray-green room aesthetic or Slytherin aesthetic room. So is it just another way to emphasize a green color palette as it relates to our first keyword, nature? If so, this clue is also redundant trash. But I wouldn't be surprised because if the clue is simply to imply the word is green, they're not going to just screenshot a Google image search from typing in green. You know, it would just be like a green paint swatch or maybe like plant stock photography. They know that would be redundant and unhelpful. So instead they try to make their Google search more specific and go down this rabbit hole leading to gray-green room aesthetic instead of a green paint swatch. What if this picture is so different because this clue is actually a middle name clue instead, just to throw us off the track? If it's a middle name clue, that middle name is Sage. Or Jade. And what if it comes from Googling Slytherin aesthetic room? We need to explore this for a moment. It is so unlikely, and this is a perfect example of something I wouldn't even bother to mention in a TikTok, you know? It's too far of a tangent that would ultimately just leave me fuming because on TikTok, the comments would come rolling in, stopped watching the Segi, you mentioned that transphobic hoe. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, this is my space to stretch and ramble, so let's just pause. Let's talk about this for a second. Something I have come to really care about, really care about in this stage of life I'm in is nuance as a concept, not thinking in terms of absolute black and white, good versus bad. TikTok can be a really unhealthy platform because it's a lot of really young people really charged up and not developed enough to grasp nuance. J.K. Rowling has done bad things and amazing things. They both exist. but if I mention her on TikTok, it's going to go so poorly. Does that make sense? It's a really hard space to exist. Honestly, when you consider the characters of Harry Potter, there is a huge emphasis on the protagonist or the good guys being very flawed. Like his parents that he idolized were also bullies. Harry himself is quite unlikable. I mean, I was just there for Hermione. Were we all? Was every female reader of Harry Potter just clinging for another opportunity for Hermione to be part of the plotline? She was so much better than Harry. Anyways, nuance. I have a hard time on TikTok because the majority of viewers don't grasp it. The idea of abandoning the creation of something because the creator has also done bad things, I see the appeal of that. And I also recognize that concept defines the creation of the US of A. We're all here because people did really bad things. That sucks. And it's implausible for us to all go back to Ireland. It's hard. It's hard. We have to see it from every side, you know? Okay, do I think Caitlin and Leah's picture clue means Slytherin room aesthetic? Probably not. Do I think this duo would be sorted into the House of Slytherin? Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, we needed a briefing from their names we love but won't be using video. Let's pull that video up. So for boys, the names they like but won't be using are Theo, not Theodore, they said. Noah, specifically with the full name Noah Bear. Jasper, Casper, Finlay. Okay, with an American accent, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say Finley or Finlay. Okay. Ezra, and then Ocean and River were names that only Caitlin liked. They said they were very, very, very close to choosing Theo and Noah, but decided against them because they're just way too popular. They're having a boy, but I think there's still valuable insights to gain from looking at their girl list too. So, like for girls, Betsy, Isla, Zyla Sage, Ren, Heidi, Kira, Evie, I'm not sure, Amelia, Nova, Arya, Nyla, and Indigo with the nickname Indy. So the boho indie nature aesthetic shines pretty clearly here with Isla, Ren, Sage, obviously Indy. Something they mention multiple times in their video is wanting a name that's more unique. However, they're framing that in terms of being more unique than Theo and Noah. If your criteria is a name more unique than Noah, which is the #1 most popular baby name in England, the options you're left with are simply every other name in existence, because it's #1. A very important element at play here, and with every single prediction and consultation I do, is that many baby name descriptors are subjective, especially popular and unique. Every single person has a completely different idea of what that means. With Caitlin and Leah saying unique boho vibes, there's no clear rule to define that. I'm not here to give my ideas for unique boho names. I'm here to predict what they think are unique boho names. And what I need now is baby name popularity data from England and Wales 2021. And I am in luck. The 2021 data was released October 5th. And let me just say, navigating this data from different countries is always so interesting. I am very, very, very familiar with the Social Security Administration.gov website for US baby name data. It's the only part of any government website that makes any sense to me. For England, I have to go to ons.gov.uk, the Office for National Statistics. Are you familiar with that scene from Paddington 2 where they're trying to find information records on the British explorer who found the bears? Paddington and Hugh Bonneville and Sally Hawkins go to this like big old fancy desk at a big old fancy building, and there's this very whimsical system of like mail tubes that deliver the documents. I mean, well, unfortunately for Paddington, they don't deliver the documents. But the idea of it all is just, it's very whimsical and labor intensive. The Office for National Statistics isn't just showing me a chart of baby names. It's giving me an elaborate Excel spreadsheet to download. At the top, it tells me to contact Kanak Ghosh and Chloe Stevens if I have questions. there's an email address and phone number. I open up the Excel spreadsheet on my desktop as if Kanak and Chloe themselves slid it into the mail tube and delivered it to me at a big old fancy desk. First, what I do with this data is see where all the boy names on Leah and Caitlin's list fall, popularity-wise. Theodore is number 11. Theo, as a full name, is spot 15. Noah is number 1. Jasper is 79. Casper 210. Finley with an E is 19. But with an A, like they said, it's at spot 180. Ezra is 51. River is 131. And Ocean is way down below 700, where they kind of like stop keeping track. That's fine. Now, I don't know math, but I'm going to attempt some very basic statistics here. I remove the extreme at each end. Are you supposed to? I think that's what you do. I'm going to take out 1 and 700. And then just taking the names on their list, just the names, not accounting for the alternative spellings and such, I add up their ranking spot and divide it by the number of names, right? Is that what you do? So it's 15 plus 79 plus 210 plus 180 plus 51 plus 131 equals 666. Ah, scary. Slytherin. Divide by 6. Woo, 111. Okay, so statistically speaking, I would expect the popularity of their baby name choice to fall around popularity spot 111, give or take. Give or take a lot, honestly. Their top names were at spot 1 and 15. So honestly, it's safe to say we need to consider the entire top 100 baby names, even the top 10 names, and venture out to around spot 200. I think a name between spot 1 and 200 is most likely fitting their idea of unique. Okay, looking at the England and Wales baby names is a refreshing change, I must say. I'm so familiar with the US data, and I'm delighted by some of the differences here. Over there, as of 2021, the top 10 boy names are Noah, Oliver, George, Arthur, Mohammed, Leo, Harry, Oscar, Archie, Henry. Fun! The royal family really has a hold on that list, tighter than it does over here for sure. I'm particularly charmed by Arthur being number 4, and also along the same vein of Theo and Archie being up there, spot 12 is Freddie. Not Frederick, Freddie. That's cute. Cross-referencing that with the US charts, Freddie isn't even on the US charts at all. Wow. Like Mohammed is 5th in England and 306th in the US, and I can see some of the dynamics of that difference, but Freddie being number 12 in England and Wales, and then not on the top 1,000 list for the US at all, has got to be the most extreme disparity of the two countries. That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm going down the lists from spot 1 to 200 and writing down anything that could possibly be a combo of nature, boho, and or gray-green room aesthetic, or Slytherin. Maybe. Because Caitlin is really into earthy names like ocean and river, I think it's likely that their compromise will be a name that sounds more normal but has a nature meaning. You know, any baby name you can like type in Caitlin name meaning, and there's like some elaborate, beautiful definition. According to who is always my question. Who comes up with those? A lot of those English origin baby names mean things like conqueror or beheaded, and it's not going to be that, you know? It's going to be a nature-y concept or a normal name with a nature-related definition. So I'm going to have to Google a lot. I'm going to have to Google blank name definition over and over again. I'm ready for that. And like I said, boho is undefinable. It's so very loosely. I'm going to look at anything vintage. That's a great umbrella term. That's the general process to create my preliminary list. Since the green bedroom is the mystery concept, I'm just going to let that linger in the back of my brain. Okay, so here we go. We've got Oliver at spot number 2. So no, I don't think that will be it. That's too high on the list, but the olive green color really feels like it's going in the right direction. Remember how they did not want Theodore, but they really liked Theo? Well, at spot 96, there's Ollie. So it has the same meaning as Oliver, which isn't actually just olive. It means olive tree. Green tree, like Nikki's picture. Ollie is not inherently boho or indie in any way from my point of view, but I could see how it feels similar to the most typical names that are right now. Names like Remy, Ozzy, Lenny, that sort of thing, you know? Okay, Arthur. Like I said, Arthur is spot number 4, so yes, that's still unlikely, but worth mentioning because it means bear. And bear is the middle name they wanted to use for Theo. And honestly, any name with an animal meaning is eligible here. Animals are covered in that broad category of nature-themed names, and they would think it was really clever, you know? You're like, oh, you thought that first picture was going to be about trees. No, tricked you. It means nature. Nature has bears. Which is why we also need to include Leo, despite its popularity. It's another Theodore, Theo, Oliver, Ollie situation, though. Leon is also on the baby name list here, just past spot 100. That lines up perfectly with my statistical work. Leon does feel like the 1970s version of Leo, so let's call it boho. Arlo, obviously on the list. This is the first time I'm actually feeling good in my bones about one of these names being correct. Theo, but not Theo, go to Arlo. It has a nature meaning, which is between two hills. If they like names like Jasper and Ezra, I think the name Arlo fits for them as well. Absolutely. Oh man, do I keep going? I mean, I feel like we could be done here. Like that feels really plausible. That could be right. No, okay, we'll keep going. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I recently started plowing through The Great on Hulu with Elle Fanning. It's the story of Catherine the Great. Have you seen it? There's a lot of violence and sex and history, but like in a satirical, intentionally inaccurate way. I'm enjoying it. I don't know how many of the characters actually existed in real history other than Catherine the Great and her husband there, but it's definitely a show that it's new and it feels like it's aligning with current baby name trends, and I am noticing it like immediately. There's a character called Archie, which is like what you're saying. It's a top name right now. It's the Archbishop, and they call him Archie. That's kind of clever. And then the one that made me think of all of this, there's a character called Orlo, which is like Arlo, but with an O, Orlo. And I'm like really into it. Not to use necessarily, but just, yeah, Arlo, but more suited for 18th century Russia, Orlo. I'm a huge fan. I have no idea if that's a Russian name or if this was a real guy. I just know I'm really digging the name in the context of this show. Confusingly, Orlo started out unattractive in the show. He's like this socially awkward academic, and he's not cute. But then Hollywood did the exact thing they've done in every plot with a woman ever. They had the nerd take off his glasses, and he's getting hot. But it's a guy. Like, we've seen this in so many movies where the nerdy girl, you know? But it's a guy. And for me as the viewer, am I experiencing what every man experiences when they watch a movie where this happens with a girl, a nerd girl, taking her ponytail out? One of my favorite tweets after watching Wonder Woman was along that same line. The tweet was something along the lines of, wow, this was so empowering to watch as a woman. Is this how every man feels after they watch every action movie ever? To be a man. Wow. Anyways, I'm on season 2, and Orlo just keeps getting hotter, and I'm really enjoying the journey. Okay, next name, Rowan. It's a tree with red berries. That's the meaning. It's a stretch, but given the names they've listed, I think Caitlin and Leah would like the name Rowan. Oakley. Oakley's on the boy list at spot 67. Now, this is another big discrepancy between US and UK style. This is really interesting to me. Now, I'm assuming this has a nature meaning just from hearing it, but let's check. Oak, wood, or clearing. It isn't indie to me, but it could be to them. Next, Sunny. This is indie, boho, groovy, 1970s to a T. Association with the word sun makes it naturey. I really do see them using Sage as the middle name, like they talked about with that girl name idea. Sunny Sage. That sounds great together. Theo Bear to Sunny Sage. That feels really plausible to me. Okay, Stanley. Stanley's a top 100 name. That is really something. I mean, I guess over there they don't have the American version of The Office as prevalent, kind of defining the name Stanley. Also, Stanley the 40-ounce tumbler. That's probably also very American. The name Stanley means from the stony clearing, and it sounds like someone born in the 1970s to me, so technically Stanley checks the boxes here. Ralph. Ralph means wolf council, which is the closest we've got to a Harry Potter vibe thus far. We'll keep it on the list. I think they'd go with Ralphie, though, instead. I've got another here that is feeling good in my bones. Harley. Harley means the long meadow, which is lovely. And remember Nikki's picture from Austria? The most easily searchable way to get to that picture was specifically to include the keyword field. I assume that's a vague nature clue, but what if it's actually more specific and they intentionally chose it for the naturey green long meadow? Looking at this name more in depth, sometimes it's interpreted to mean hare's meadow, like a rabbit, I think. That's nice too. But either way, the second syllable Lee, Harley, that second part, is derived from Old English Leah, which means meadow. This couple is Caitlin and Leah. So what if they stumbled across the name Harley and they're like, oh, that sounds nice. It's got a nice soft sound like Noah. So they click it. They read up on it. They get to this exact Google search page and see the Leah connection. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so special. How sweet. A really subtle, special connection between mom and baby. Leah is Old English for meadow. Harley means long meadow or hare's meadow. Yeah, I mean, is it indie boho? I don't know if the Harley motorcycle brand has a big presence over there, but for me, the association with that does give it a cool alternative side. From Harley, I jumped to Marley. This one feels slightly more like a girl name to me, but because it means pleasant seaside meadow, I can't skip it. Robin, like the bird? Sure, I see this more as a girl name, but I could see them being charmed by the association with Robin Hood, especially because Caitlin is a beautiful, small, fox-like redhead. I like that connection. Bodhi. Bodhi is a name rooted in appropriation, but I just know people who like Isla and Indy are also a fan of this, so I do need to include it as a plausible option. Remy. Okay, Remy. I don't know a single person in my real life who has used this name, but it seems like everyone on the internet has used it recently. If I'm doing all of this and it ends up being Remy, I mean, I'll be correct because I'm mentioning it here right now, but I'll be underwhelmed. It's probably going to be Remy. Okay. Brody is here with 2 different spelling options, and it means little ridge. Sure. Lenny. Okay, remember our chat earlier? The most typical boho names right now are things like Remy, Ozzy, Lenny. Yes, Lenny absolutely belongs. My bones are feeling this one, definitely. Much more than Leo and Leon, although all 3 of those names mean lion. We can make a really vague stretch, perhaps unnecessarily, to Hogwarts via Gryffindor. Yeah, it's not Slytherin, but it's something. Okay, Jamie. Jamie's a very sweet, playful alternative to James, but let's see what it means. It means supplanter? Supplanter? What is that? I don't even know how to say that. Define supplanter. Dictionary.com. Someone or something taking the place of another, as through force, scheming, or strategy. Used in a sentence. The railways were extolled in art and literature on a scale of imagination and power, which the steam train's unromantic supplanter, the automobile, wholly failed to inspire. Okay, so supplanters suck. James. This whole time James was just floating around the world as like one of the most common baby names with a meaning of taking something through force and scheming. That's terrible. I want to hear it in another sentence. Let's go to the official dictionary website, the Merriam-Webster. Oh, did you know that at the front page of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, there's a list of the top 10 words being searched right now in this real moment, and it refreshes every 30 seconds. This is new to me. Now I'm just sitting here watching it refresh. It's never the same exact list twice, but as far as I've seen, the number 1 searched word is consistently anti-Semitic. I hope this means humanity is moving toward learning and goodness. The word penne, like the pasta, is also consistently staying on this list. Now, actually, I'm wondering, I wish you could know how many of these searches are to learn the definition versus learn the spelling. That changes things, you know? Oh, love just made the list. That's good. Okay, supplanter is defined as supersede by force or treachery. That's still bad. The example sentences come from recent times. It has been used on the web. August 2022, quote, "Although Putin remains a major security concern, China's leaders are the ones with the cash and the clout to overturn Pax Americana and supplant the US as the world's premier superpower." This is all bad. Wow, supplanters are really bad. Why does James even mean supplanter? Does the fact that the word supplanter has plant in it give the name Jamie enough cred to go on the brainstorm list? Barely? I guess. Okay, Archer, Asher. Vaguely nature, and I could just see them choosing these based off their lists. That's all. Rocco is here, and I could see this feeling groovy. Groovy to boho, yeah. The definition of the name is to rest. And that last mystery clue is a bed. It doesn't feel connected enough to the nature concept, but I'm keeping Rocco on this list purely because it's the only name I've ever seen that has a bed connection so strongly. Rio. Rio meaning river. Caitlin wanted river or ocean, but Leah thought they were too out there. I suppose Rio could feel like an alternative there, maybe? And lastly, at spot 186, the Scottish name Callum, which means dove, which is both naturey and peaceful, like a nice soft green bedroom. Okay, so that was 22 names in total. When I do a TikTok, I'm always torn. This longer list does give me a better chance of getting it right, but the shorter lists feel so much more confident and interesting. You know, this Prediction XL is a lot of time and work. I think TikTok is going to get the full 22 name list. I deserve my best chance to get it right as a reward. But let me tell you here what I see in this list. The names I want to be right because it seems so right for Caitlin and Leah and their criteria and their self-described name aesthetic. Honestly, Oliver is out. Arthur, done. Leo, goodbye. Rowan, I hear you a lot. Stanley, odd. Harley, Marley, there can only be one of you. Marley's out. Bodie, I just don't want it to be you. Sorry to Remy, I know it's really likely to be you. I just don't want it to be you. Brody, I'm so neutral about this, it probably means it should go. Jamie, the supplanter, out. Asher, Archer, underwhelmed. Rio, it's not fitting for me. Callum, too clearly Scottish. So this final shorter list that I'm left with was decided by reason, by the powers of deduction and Nancy Drew level sleuthing and statistics. I'm going to add 2 more names to the list, actually. I have to. Just ones that in my gut feel like they need to be added. First, Silas. When I hear Jasper, my heart says Silas. The name means woods or forest, and I'm tracing my steps back here to Sunny Sage. Remember talking about that? Sunny Sage sounds great. I could see Silas Sage. It's a lot, yeah. But it feels like a Hogwarts student. This name feels Slytherin to me. Silas Sage. That feels really Slytherin, honestly. Silas Sage, born in 1673. Speaks Parseltongue. Yeah. He discovered he could speak Parseltongue at the age of 3, the first time he said his full name out loud. Silas Sage. Snakes. Started doing stuff. Okay, the other name my gut is telling me to add is Forest, just to cover my butt. This name has had its time here in the States. The spelling with 2 R's had a huge spike in popularity in 1994. Hang on, when did Forrest Gump come out? 1994. Yep. Okay, but even before then, the spelling with 2 R's or 1 R was in the top 200 range through the early part of the 20th century. It feels very American to me, though. Should it? Is that a good thought? Okay, let's check the Excel spreadsheet from Kanak and Chloe. Both Forest spellings are in the 500 range in popularity right now, and likewise, it's not high on the charts in the US either. The data is not proving anything here, but I'm still putting it on my list because if one spouse likes river and ocean and the other spouse says no, they can compromise on forest. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I just tried to Google to find out what last name their baby may have because that could narrow down my list more. But instead, I have found a completely different TikTok that they made that has been re-uploaded to YouTube. What is this? It's 8 baby names they love and might be using? No. Okay, this is new intel. Time for me to watch. Okay, the boy ones that they say they love and might use. I don't even know when this video was made. Was it before or after? Doesn't matter. Noah, Shiloh, Jasper, Tommy. Okay. I can't reevaluate everything. Okay, we know it's not Noah or Jasper because they mentioned that in their YouTube video. Okay, that means Shiloh and Tommy. They either love so much that it's one of those, or there's a reason they're off the list altogether. Okay, because Tommy has no vague nature connections whatsoever. Let's drop it. Right? What does Thomas mean? Uh-oh, let me check. Baby name meaning Thomas. No, it can't be. It means twin. That doesn't have any connection whatsoever. So, Shiloh. It's very likely Shiloh. It's incredibly likely. Shiloh as a name, to me, is perfectly equivalent to the name Indy. It's boho. Oh, Shiloh means tranquil, like the gray-green bedroom. I don't see a big nature connection unless you're going animal and referencing the dog movie, Shiloh. That seems unlikely, but it needs to go on the list. This is big. This could change everything. Okay, so now the question is, what name do I want it to be? What do I want it to be? I've thought it over. I want it to be Ollie. Not Oliver, Ollie. Spot 96, which fits very nicely with my statistical theory that the average spot would be around 111. This name fits into all 3 categories remarkably well. 1, nature. Ollie has the same meaning as Oliver, which is olive tree. Easy. 2, boho. Like I said, Ollie, specifically Ollie instead of Oliver, feels aligned with other popular boho names of today. 3, the mystery clue. Gray-green room aesthetic / Slytherin room aesthetic / it's a picture of a bedroom. Ollie means olive tree, and olive trees are a symbol of peace. Peace, tranquility, calm. Olive green as a color is open to interpretation, but I think the colors in this gray-green room aesthetic are close to that. And the color association of Slytherin, green. Yeah, okay, that's the one I want. That means it's not going to be it because it's never the one I want it to be. Top contenders have got to be Ollie, for me, Shiloh, and Arlo. Just listen to them and the way they sound compared to their top favorites, Noah and Theo. They all work. Okay, that's all I got. That was long. I need more water. I'm tired. I just hope I get this up in time before they have their baby. Okay, bye.